Jai Hind and welcome to Dev Talks. This is Aadi. As you can see, I have with me Lieutenant General Ravi Shankar, who's going to take us through a very interesting story, which is Aneva, Pakistan, a land of no surprises. What do you say, sir?
Huh. It's a land full of surprises for themselves and the whole world. Right?
But it's quite predictable, but it's a sad story for a country, sir.
No, it's a predictably unpredictable nation. But let me put it this way: our focus should be what is the impact for India.
Absolutely.
What will happen? Pakistan will this thing. Let's focus on India. What is the impact? That's one. And number two, we have to understand that today India is also in a probably a difficult situation. I won't say difficult. It's in a critical and a crucial situation. Pakistan has just going into a tailspin, right? Sri Lanka is in a tailspin.
Already.
Myanmar has been in tailspin now for almost 1 year. Okay. All three neighbors, instability will come into our country.
Nepal is also not that good.
Nepal is okay, it's writing because we need to be careful because we are trying to get off the Chinese bandwagon. Right. And so that is the thing. Then this Ukraine war and the global phenomenon is also, and for many reasons, whether you like it or not, India is under some kind of pressure. So you have a regional turmoil as also extra regional pressure. So overall, the whole packet makes India critical. And at the same time, India is seeking something. There are threats and opportunities in this whole game. So, that's how it is. But of course, well, the flavor of today and tomorrow, maybe a few days from now, will be Pakistan. And anything happens in Pakistan, even, it's something which we have to take cognizance of.
So that Pakistan seems obviously the flavor of the month, and of this, at least the changing season from winter to summer, and a lot of turmoil in the country. How do you assess the situation within Pakistan in 2022? So a lot of instability, a lot of uncertainness.
See, first and foremost, the political instability has just started. What the Prime Minister Imran Khan has done is before he has, the writing is on the cards that he'll leave office. He's now caretaker government and something new will happen. He has made himself some kind of a martyr and some kind of a, Deshbhakt of Pakistan. And he's put others in the opposite direction, that they're Gaddars. That's his stated thing.
Yeah.
And he's taking the whole thing to elections. And he's quite a popular man. And I think he's played his cards quite shrewdly. Okay. So once you go into elections, then everything is up. We don't know where it will go unless there's fixing and all that. Now, what is he also done by elections? The opposition thought they'll get into the chair, and run the government with the army. He's upset their apple cart completely. We don't know how it will go tomorrow or day after when the Supreme Court gives its ruling. That's a different story. If it's elections, all these parties, will they be together like they are today? They might not. They'll all fight for their elections, in which case, again, PTM might come back. So that's one option. Now, in this whole story, there's also clarity. There's a problem between the military and the politicians. And for the first time, the military is getting sucked into the local politics in Pakistan. So, if you look at it, any way, whether Imran comes back or, the opposition comes back, the current opposition, or it's a coalition which comes back, right, with or without the army, there's going to be problems. Some political instability is bound to be there. Even if everyone comes back and army comes back, you can't wish Imran away, and he's not going to lose all the sites. So he'll still be a source of problems. And he's also thrown up the issues of, global issue by America and all that. So that is one political instability is on the cards. This will continue for the rest of the thing. Second, the second instability is economic instability.
That
With
is,
all this going, where will it go? Will it end up Sri Lanka way? That's a question. There's no one at the helm. Everyone is politicking, right? And if tomorrow the Supreme Court says no, you must hold this vote of confidence and all that, and then it'll anyone's game. If it doesn't, it's still anyone's game. Then it's a caretaker government. This man will only be looking at getting re-elected. So whichever way it goes, yeah, economically it's going to go down the chute. We're going to be worried. Now, if these two things happen, already you see TTP has upped its attacks. Balochistan is not in a happy state. Now, the real danger, which is the worst of the case, is the TLP, Tehreek-e-Labbaik Pakistan. Now, that fellow is political. He's got a vote share for which all these fellows will, and Imran will be the first guy to get after that chap. So, vote bank politics, religion, everything is going to get heady. So, there's going to be that instability, more violence, etc., and all that. So, there'll be more pressure on the military. The military itself will be into instability because we have to remember that ex-ISI chief will be backed by Imran. Okay, if Imran comes back, there's a good chance that he might do something to get that guy back into the forefront. So there is going to be some politicking there. So you look at it anyway, right? So there is a issue. Okay, so as a reflex, what will Pakistan do? They will try and focus on Kashmir. Externalize the situation, they can only do in Kashmir. But then, at the same time, Afghanistan is going to go rotten. Chaos here, Afghanistan is is totally loose. So that belt and Afghanistan itself is going to be an issue. So I don't see Pakistan coming out of any. The instability as far as Pakistan goes, I see it only increasing from now. Any instability in Pakistan has an effect on us. So that's it.
The sheer factor that we are neighbors, obviously there is going to be challenges in that front. One of the things that Imran Khan has been able to do, if I may put it that way, is that ruin his relations with pretty much everyone around the place. Internally, externally, he's just basically created a mock of everything. And the latest fiasco with this whole so-called threat letter and everything has also put a lot of pressure. How do you see the situation with General Bajwa's speech yesterday?
See, Bajwa has given a signal that he wants to get good with USA. Imran Khan is openly against USA and for China. Right? And Bajwa, by giving this signal to USA, has probably alienated China also.
Yeah.
We don't know how this whole story is. And you have to also see this happening in the larger umbrella of the tussle between China and USA over Ukraine. So Pakistan is caught in a tug of war now. They don't know which way to go, who's to do. And then China has got huge stakes in CPEC. That's up for grabs. It gives an opening to USA to finger the issue here. I mean, let's face facts. It is fully in the realm of reality that USA has done something against Imran Khan. He's a prime minister, he's come up with some letter. It's not a fake. He's come up with something, and he's a prime. He knows. He's come with something. So there is some angle there. So this internal tug of war will have an external fallout. Externally, no one is happy with this man going to Russia at that time. So Russia will go cold. And with what the chief Bajwa has said, about Russia and should cease immediately and all, Russia will say, okay, no more. All that bonhomie with Russia is now gone. And I told you of Afghanistan. Afghanistan was as it is and are not under control. It will now go totally out of control. It will be beyond China to handle them. Okay, so China will be on tenterhooks today. Their CPC is going down. Their entire, two ocean theory, superpower, all that is going up for grabs. Xinjiang is getting exposed. And we have discussed the instability in China. So this is an added problem for him. Okay, the Gulf scene is not hot for these fellows. So if the economics don't work out, the Gulf won't be so kind because they don't know whom to back, whom not to back. Right? So and of course India is not going to look. India is not going to be an easy partner to handle in all this. Right? So external environment till some stabilization is reached is going to be a problem. And that stabilization won't reach till the political stability is reached. No one will trust Pakistan now. What's more, people might get worried, though I'm not too, I'm quite sanguine that the Pakistan army won't lose the nukes. People will start talking of the safety of those nukes. Right?
They are saying it. So
yeah, people will say eventually they'll come around to say, okay, are these nukes safe or unsafe? So that's the thing. So this is the external environment, right? Yeah.
Funny thing is, all the stories they've given the world about rogue elements and this that are going to come and bite them right now because when talking about the instability of the armed forces itself, they won't be able to hide behind a barrier of some kind, saying that there are certain elements that have this and stuff like that. Who's going to trust them?
See, it is going to be a free for all there.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, some might say I'm jumping off the gun by predicting this, but that's how it's going to go. That's how I look at it. Right? It's going to be a free for all. If not free for all, it might be costly for some, but free for majority. But it's going to be, it's not going to be this thing. He's not going to have a.
Right. The only difference between the so-called political instabilities we've seen in the past and this one is that previous ones were orchestrated more or less by the army. This one, we see that the army is getting sucked into it even when they don't want.
No, army is part of the problem today. Earlier, army was apart from the problem.
Yeah.
Okay, he was the don who will call the shots. Abhi wo don doon nahi, he's part of the problem.
He's got sucked in.
That's why I said that's why I said it's a free for all situation, right? And with the army itself having its own problems between Faiz and Bajwa. I mean, just think of a situation. If Imran Khan, as a caretaker government, sacks the army chief, what happens?
That's what they call the nuclear option, sir.
What happens if tomorrow the elections go through, Imran Khan comes back as the prime minister and then does that? Then to replace Bajwa, he appoints Faiz. Then what happens in the these things? Anyway, these are issues which you will think maybe we could think of issues back near home.
Of certain situations, sir.
Yeah.
And I honestly never thought that I would ask this question on a serious sort of a discussion. We always joke about this, but I never thought I'll ask someone a serious question like this. I'm not saying this because yesterday's Pakistani current Prime Minister's speech talked about Pakistan breaking up into 3 pieces. And it's not once, he's mentioned it about 4 times in the past week. What do you think are the chances for that?
See, what he's talking of is showing a threat to Pakistanis so that they look to him. He's playing it as a card for his re-election. Okay. Fundamentally, the army will not let Pakistan fail beyond a point. They'll hold it together. And everyone in Pakistan will now say, okay, If this is the case, we'll all look to the army. So if the chaos goes to that level, it's possible that the army might take over, or army might be forced to take over in the absence of any other thing. So the chances of imploding are not that great. And let's be very frank, you need a set of secessionist forces acting for its implosion, which is not there at this point. Yeah, where are they acting? They are acting again along the Durand line. That might go into a problem. Baluchistan, yes. Will those secessionist forces get uh, mature enough to secede? I don't see a political movement in that.
Mm.
If anything of this implosion comes, it will be as an outflow of uh, the current elections, whenever they are held, or the instability which feeds. I don't see that happening immediately.
Yeah. Mm.
But look, the chances are there. We've been talking of it. I don't see that happening. If it happens, there has to be some serious political cleavages.
We don't see that even in the.
You don't see that as of now. So let us see where it goes. But the question will hang in the air. The probability will hang in the air.
Sir, India, yesterday, General Bajwa's speech was very interesting when he said, peace and diplomacy is the only way. We've gone through 1 year of peace at the line of control. We've not had any major incidents. So he was basically justifying his case for a further sort of engagement, and which is true. I mean, of course, the incidents have come down. And how do you see that entire situation with their olive branch? And would we fall into that trap again?
See, they are totally vulnerable today. Totally vulnerable. If you trigger anything, then that implosion and all those stories start.
Yeah.
But look at it from a practical point of view. What is the best option for India? And we've said this before in our talks. One of the best options for India is Pakistan looking inward. Pakistan cannot look outward for a couple of, at least 4 to 5 months. After that, it will seek stability. So 22 is out. So let Pakistan look inward. Let him be. Why do you want to help him by this thing? So where you are, you maintain. It gives you an opportunity to tend to your problems, which are confronting you. I won't say problems, the challenges which are confronting you and the opportunities which are confronting you. For the first time, everyone in the world will say, "Yaar, Pakistan ke saath kya jana? Let's go to India." That rebound also will take place. So you will find that, I mean, we need to take advantage of this situation. We also need to take advantage of the weakening of the Sino-Pak axis. It will weaken now.
Yeah, of course.
Can you take advantage of it? So this is an opportunity which we should not miss. The opportunity is not Indo-Pak peace. That is there. That will, I mean, in the sense, this level of peace or no peace will be there. Some terrorist incident in Kashmir will carry on. You, as far as we are concerned, even if you tell Bajwa, यार जो तुम कर रहे हो ना करते रहो, हमारे से कोई you don't have any problems. I'm happy. Let them do what they want. They'll anyway not come out of it in a hurry. It gives you breathing space that you don't have to bother about Pakistan. One flank of yours, if I say you get security on this flank by indirect method, indirect security. This is absolute godsend for us, as far as I'm concerned.
Lot less of a headache than daily firing on the LOC.
Yeah. LOC, all that, and plus they're blaming you blaming them, you're trying for peace proposals, you know, for the next 7 8 months, nothing will happen. Neither will there be a major threat from there, nor there's a leadership there. There's a leadership vacuum, political stability, instability. Let them be happy. And then you look to your own geostrategic challenges and start dealing with them.
So, my last question, sir, talking about the instability going forward, and I personally, when I look at the situation in Pakistan currently as well, the majority or the number of seats in the House is not very, conducive for any party to form a government. Even if there is going to be a swing, Imran Khan has swung some stuff back towards him. There's no question. So even in the election, may just get onto a hung assembly. I mean, I was just reading before we started this interview. There were fist fighting happening in the assembly itself.
Yeah, possible.
So this will get onto the streets and it gets onto the whole tamasha. And they've mentioned this again and again about civil war and jange kya awame jang.
Oh, that's yeah. I understand where you're getting. You say you want to know the India's role in that.
No. What are the chances of actually something like that happening, which forces the army to jump in?
Look, if the army jumps in, it'll take over. As simple as that.
But it'll lead to a lot of chaos in terms of a civil war. In terms of
I don't think that civil war situation is there. For civil war, you need two opposing forces. Where's the forces? The army is the singular force there. Army will not let go because all their businesses, everything is there. The survival of the army depends on survival of Pakistan. If Pakistan goes, army goes. Okay, and I don't think these generals of Pakistan are so foolish to let that go. Okay, first they'll say, "Yaar, apna gaddi theek karo." Gaddi theek karne ke liye they'll say, "Let the politicians fight, but the country should be stable." So they'll get hold of the country and let these chaps fight and say, "Okay, till you come out, we'll hold the country." So there'll be instability. I don't think anything will happen. If the Jange Maidan and whatever they call it happens, the army will step in and sort it out. Why are we bothered? Which is all the more better. They're all the more internalizing and it frees us.
That's the reason why I asked this question, because that's kind of the worst case scenario that one can think about.
Yeah, I'm very happy. It's not a worst case scenario. For me, it's the best case scenario.
Yeah, of course. For us.
As an Indian, it's a best case scenario that the Pakistan, not only the politician, the economy, the army, everyone is looking inward completely.
Of course.
And of course, in all this, the one guy who will take advantage is PTP. Second guy who will take advantage is TLP. So they have more problems. Let them be.
And of course, the breakaway forces in Taliban who would want to...
That is same omelette.
Fair enough. It's interesting, sir. Before, again, in the evening, the Chinese have also put out a message saying they're very concerned with the political instability in Pakistan and would request all the parties to sit down and peacefully negotiate and come to us.
They have a lot to worry.
They have a lot to worry there. So, and that's something that one can see with the Gali Galoch, if I may put it that way, which is happening.
Yeah. Look, like someone has got out the US angle, someone will get out the Chinese angle also.
Absolutely, sir. Absolutely. I'm waiting for that to happen.
Let them wash their dirty clothes and linen and underwear and everything in public. International view. It will come out.
Thanks, sir. I think this is a more comprehensive discussion than anything else, because I really don't want to discuss the no confidence motion and this and that. I guess
that is it. They're internal. We shouldn't bother. I think we need to look at what is there in it for us.
So for us, it's important that we keep a track of what is happening and kind of. It's a very gaulish thing to say, but take advantage of any situation that presents towards us, because at the end of it,
I will not even say take advantage. It tells you what to do for yourself.
Yeah.
Comfortable. It puts you in a comfort. Yeah.
If there's one lesson that India must take from the Ukraine war, and we've been talking about this in multiple videos, is that India's national interest comes first, whatever may be the case. Rest all can
wait.
Thank you, sir, for a supercharged sort of an episode, and we'll catch up with another one when the situation comes to some sort of a output, because currently it's all
wishy-washy.
It's not something which is solid.
Yeah.
Let's wait for that to happen. Till then, sir, Jai Hind.
Jai Hind.